Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit. This is a top 5 pedals of 2021 video. I know it's a little late, but I just thought, why not? I haven't seen these pedals pop up in other people's lists too much, so thought it would be worth doing one. So these pedals, they either scratched an itch for me in a way that other pedals have not done before, or they just excel at one particular sound that I really like and I really get a lot of use out of. Yeah, and these are just pedals I know that I'm going to keep around and use on recordings and use live. So yeah, let's just get into the list. Okay, so at number 5, we got the Mattoverse Air Trash. This is technically a fuzz pedal, but it is a very unique one, and it is trashy sounding. I don't know if I would say it sounds good, per se, but I love the high frequency static and noise it produces and the way that your signal starts to gate after a while into a very choppy tremolo thing. I had it set more like a fuzz pedal for that song, but you can set it so it's just all of that high frequency air trash stuff, or you can set it so it's more of a crazy oscillating tremolo thing. These are very affordable, and it just does that one sound that no other pedal does. I can say that pretty confidently. Air Trash, I think it's destined to be a future classic. All right. Coming in at number 4, we got the Schock Ocean Man. Now, I think this dude now goes by Professor Pedals, and he just sells pedals through his Reverb page. And one time I saw him post on his Instagram page. He said, hey, I've got some of these in my Reverb shop. I just went and bought it without really knowing what it was. But it's a chorus pedal, and I specifically use it for that sound you heard in the song, which is an octave down chorus, and it's like a polyphonic octave down, so it handles chords really well. Something about the octave down plus chorus effect is just perfect for lo-fi stuff, some very woozy underwater sounding stuff. And this pedal also does a kind of shallow water stuttery vibrato thing. If you can find one of these, pretty cool pedal. And I just know, again, that I'm not gonna get rid of it because it does that one thing that nothing else really does. So yep, Schock Ocean Man. Coming in at number 2, we have the J.Rockett Clockwork Delay. This is a Deluxe Memory Man type pedal, and I have a vintage Deluxe Memory Man, and I can say that this sounds like one. It really does sound like a Deluxe Memory Man. The reason for that is the filtering, right? When people talk about oh, why does the DMM sound like it does? It's because of the lack of upper frequency filtering. And so you get this kind of noise that comes from the clock, and you get some imperfections, which is what we like about the Deluxe Memory Man. So this does all that, and it's also stereo, where one of the sides is flipped out of phase, so you get a really nice stereo delay image. Of course, like with all great analog delays, you can get beautiful chorus and vibrato sounds out of this too. The chorus sound in particular on this thing is really beautiful. It's got one problem though. It has one problem, and that is the boost, the level control is always on, which is like the original DMM. That wouldn't be an issue, except that when you kick this thing on, there's a tiny little volume dip on your guitar signal. So if we could just bypass the boost entirely, I feel like it wouldn't be an issue. The boost doesn't sound bad. I just kind of try to set it to unity gain, but it seems a little unnecessary to me. That's kind of a relic from the past. I would have liked them to make the boost switchable or something like that. But other than that, sounds beautiful, and it's kind of my go-to analog delay right now. 2, we've got the Audio Kitchen Fake Plastic Trees. This is not a cheap pedal for anyone, but I don't know if I've come across a pedal that is as touch responsive, dynamic, and just real sounding as this thing. It sounds like an amp, and specifically it sounds like an Audio Kitchen amp, the big trees. This is like a miniaturized version of that amp. In a live situation, this thing is super useful because the type of gigs that I play, you have a big clean amp, like a Twin or a Deluxe Reverb or something, and then that's mic'd, so it's not even turned up very much, right? The sound guy doesn't want loud amps on stage. You know, this is like bar venues or whatever. So what I do to combat that is I take this thing, I set the gain kind of high, like 3 o'clock, and then I set the volume not super high because it's loud as hell. And even with the gain up that much, I can play lightly and get these beautiful clean tones, and then if I dig in, it just fuzzes up, overdrives like an amp would. So it's perfect for that, and it can get pretty high gain. It could get into fuzz territory. So is it worth the price? I don't know. There might be other pedals that can do a similar thing, but I haven't found one. So yeah, pretty dope. And coming in at first place, my favorite pedal of 2021, it's the Electronic Audio Experiments Hypersleep. The reason this is number one is there is simply nothing else like it. And it sounds good. It's not just a gimmick, it sounds really good. It's an analog reverb, sort of. Not a spring reverb, a Bucket Brigade reverb. No other pedals exist except for what this was based on, which is the Electro Harmonix analog reverb that never came out. And there are only like a handful of prototype units of it in the world. And on top of that, there are no more Bucket Brigade chips for this pedal. So this effect, analog reverb, it won't exist anymore after this pedal. For me, owning this is sort of like owning a piece of pedal history. I love Bucket Brigade effects like delay and chorus and vibrato. And so this sounds somewhere in between a delay and a reverb. I like cranking the space and feedback controls up so you get this reverby wash, but then you also do get actual echo repeats. And it's just a really nice ambient sound that I've never heard made by anything else. Kudos to John for doing this and making it something really special. And yeah, that was my list. If you're not already, please take a minute to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Appreciate the support. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, all right, I'll see you in the next one.